If you are a business owner selling either a service or a product, then you absolutely need to embrace this idea of selling to premium buyers. Now, in this video, I'm going to make the case strongly for why we need to position ourselves to sell to premium buyers by answering 3 questions. 1, who are premium buyers? And why we need to target these types of buyers? And finally, how exactly we can achieve this. So if you're interested, stick around and let's dive right in. Okay, so let's tackle the first question. Who is a premium buyer, or what makes a buyer premium? Now, the first thing to note here is that a premium buyer is not necessarily someone who has more money to spend. Rather, premium buyers are those who think about value differently. What does that mean? It means what is valuable to a premium buyer is different as compared to what is valuable to an ordinary buyer. So in order to understand this a bit further, we need to look at certain characteristics of a premium buyer that makes it easier for us to spot who a premium buyer is or know who a premium buyer is. Okay, so the first one is premium buyers value time more than they value money. Premium buyers value time more than they value money. Now, what does this mean? You know, we've heard a lot this popular phrase, time is money, right? And it's become almost second nature to us. All of us have embraced it. Time is money. But when we think about it critically, time is not equal to money. In fact, when we think about life, what life is made of is time. So that when your time on earth comes to an end, then your life has ended. You're literally dead. So in that case, it becomes very absurd then to compare time, which is life, to money. So rather, the more accurate equation is that time is way bigger, or time is infinitely more valuable than money. So the equation is supposed to be time is greater than money. Now, the reason this is so significant is because when you believe that time is equal to money, then you easily exchange all of your time just to get some money for your time. But when you start to understand time is way bigger and more valuable than money, then it becomes the other way around. You would rather want to dish out money just so you can buy more time for yourself. Now, these are some of the things a premium buyer has discovered, for which reason they rather spend money in order to increase their time, which they value more. So, if you want to think like a premium buyer and spot a premium buyer so you can offer products and services for such a person, then you also have to embrace this idea that time is way more valuable than money. For example, if I offered to give you, say, $500 million, okay, just for free as a gift, you can use it to spend on anything at all, but with just one condition, that your life has to come to an end tomorrow. Is this a deal you want to take? Definitely not. Everyone will say no. Why? Because though you give me $500 million, I don't even have enough time to spend it and enjoy it if my life has to end just tomorrow. So what it means is that we all inherently know this, that time is way more valuable than money. But somehow, some way, we've come to embrace this popular idea that time is equal to money. So that's the first thing to spot a premium buyer. They value time more than they value money. Now, the second point is that premium buyers buy based on outcomes and not effort. They buy based on outcomes and not effort. What does this mean? This means premium buyers are concerned about one thing and only one thing. They're looking at the end result, the transformation that your offer can bring to them. So, not really the process that you have or the many features that you've put together. They're not interested in all of these things. At the end of the day, they're looking at whether your offer can solve their problem. That is what they're interested in. So, when we know this, we can think like the premium buyer and we will know what they value. So, remember, they do not value effort, they don't value your processes, they don't value the many features that you're offering. What they value is the end results that they want from your product or your service. Third point, the premium buyer is emotionally driven, or premium buyers are emotionally driven. What does this mean? Now, this is saying that the premium buyer always wants to feel something. They value experiences more. They want to create memories, unforgettable memories. So that is more valuable to the premium buyer than just the function of things. So you notice they buy a lot of intangibles. A premium buyer is usually buying security or status or confidence or prestige. These are the intangibles that are very valuable to the premium buyer. For example, the Rolex watches are very expensive. You can have a Rolex watch for say 50,000, 70,000 and over in US dollars. Now, if it's about just the function of the watch, that is to tell time, then you can just buy a watch for $50 and that's it. But the premium buyer who goes for the Rolex watch is looking at status, identity, and prestige. And that is the intangible that is found in the Rolex watch, and that's valuable to the premium buyer. The final point is that the premium buyer makes decisions based on trust. Okay, now what is this saying? Now, the premium buyer always wants to buy certainty. So, because of that, trust is super important to the premium buyer. If they sense in the slightest bit that you're unsure, you're not so confident, then they're out. Definitely, they are out. A premium buyer, because they're looking for a certain result that resolves their problem, they want to be able to trust that you can produce that result at the end of the day. So what they are buying is not necessarily your features or all the things that you've put together. But again, they're buying an intangible, which is certainty. So they want to be able to trust that you can deliver that result for them. So that's also very valuable to the premium buyer. A premium buyer makes decisions based on trust. So you need to be able to exude that confidence and that clarity. And that way you'll be able to think like the premium buyer and spot one when you see. Now, why is it so important, this idea of selling to a premium buyer? We've looked at what makes a premium buyer or who a premium buyer is. Now, let's look at why it's even important to set our focus to sell to premium buyers. Now, 3 reasons. Number 1, premium buyers equals bigger impact. Now, what does this mean? The premium buyer is going to allow you the time, the space, and the trust, including the budget that you need to deliver exceptional results. So they're not always going to micromanage you, plus they're going to give you the resources that you need and the trust and the space that you need to be able to operate and do your best work for them. So when you set your sights on delivering for the premium buyer, you get to do great work that you will be proud of. All right. Now, the second thing is premium buyers are easier to work with. Now, this may sound counterintuitive, but it's actually true. Because a premium buyer values a lot of intangibles, it means they don't have a lot of time on their hands. They value their time, so they're not going to spend all their time on your head trying to, determine what processes that you use to deliver the results. So because of that, you have enough space you can think, and they'll give you the trust that you also need in order to deliver results. So they're way easier to work with than the ordinary buyer. When you set your sights on delivering for just ordinary buyers, you're going to meet very interesting clients who think they own your life just because they paid you a little bit of money. So set your sights on a premium buyer. And remember, we said the premium buyer is the one who thinks differently and values different stuff than the ordinary buyer. So remember, these are the kind of clients that will respect your processes, value expertise, as well as honor the boundaries that you put in place. So it's so important, set your sights on delivering for premium buyers. Now, the third one we'll look at is that premium buyers multiply your brand in a positive way. Premium buyers multiply your brand in a positive way. What does this mean? The premium buyer, because he thinks differently, he values intangibles, they form a network of people who also think about quality and value quality above everything else. So when you deliver results for a premium buyer, because that is hard to come by, they also refer you to their network of people who are interested in certainty and results. So remember, when you do work for a premium buyer, it multiplies your brand in a positive way. You also can talk about the fact that you did XYZ for the premium buyer, and because you've delivered exceptional results, you become very proud of the work that you've done. So rather than focus on the ordinary buyer, focus on delivering exceptional results for the premium buyer who hang around quality people, and that's in effect will multiply your brand in a positive way. Okay, now the third question we're going to answer is how. How do we position our business or ourselves to sell to the premium buyer? We've looked at what makes a premium buyer or who a premium buyer is. We've talked about why it's absolutely crucial that you set your sights or your focus on selling to the premium buyer. And now we're going to look at how we can position ourselves and our business to achieve this. Okay, now the first thing is to sell to the premium buyer, we need to sell like an advisor and not a vendor. We need to sell like an advisor and not a vendor. So I usually say, be the doctor and not the salesman, right? Now, when we think about the doctor scenario, right, we've all experienced it, so it's easy to relate to. When you have an illness, you visit the hospital, you get to see a doctor. You don't get in there, the doctor starts prescribing solutions here and there, right? It will actually be a strange scenario to find yourself in. Rather, you find a doctor diagnosing. So you're going to hear a lot of questions trying to get down to where you feel a certain pain or what you've tried to do to resolve it. And what the doctor is doing is diagnosing, trying to get to the bottom of the problem so they can prescribe a solution. So we need to take the same approach in business. Let's position ourselves as the advisor and not the sales person. What that means is that you're going to be more concerned about what kind of problem the premium buyer is looking to solve rather than just start prescribing solutions. So position as an advisor, you want to get to a certain result for the premium buyer, So ask a lot of questions, ask smart questions, listen attentively to the answers that they give you, and then you can start prescribing solutions that fit exactly your diagnosis. Then the second point is paint the destination and not the process. If you really want to position yourself to sell to the premium buyer, then you need to be skillful at painting the destination and not the process. Now, remember we mentioned that one of the things that a premium buyer values the most is that they value the outcome, the results, and not the effort. So, in the same way, we need to position ourselves to sell the result, to paint the destination, and not just the process. Now, when we think about the same doctor idea, the results that a doctor is bringing is to get you to a state of being healthy. So, every other thing are all just steps to get you there. So, the doctor then shouldn't be selling the x ray or the lab you go through or even the drugs that you have to take. But all that a doctor needs to sell is the fact that they can bring you to a state of health and well being. It's same in business. So, what you're selling, it's not about the features that you have, it's not about the many activities, it's not about the parts of your offer, it's not about the processes you're going to take the client or the customer through, it's not about all of that. It's simply about the destination that you're going to bring the client to at the end of the day. So we need to become skillful at selling the destination if we want to appeal to the premium buyer. So remember, sell or paint the destination and not the process. Then the third point is to position yourself as the prize. You need to position yourself as a prize. What does this mean? Premium buyers, because they're looking for certainty, usually the premium sellers who are able to produce certainty and produce results over and over again are so much in demand. For which reason, they get to select which clients they want to work with. Now, so because of that, you find that premium sellers usually have a vetting process or a process in which they use to qualify clients. So, in order to position yourself to attract or be able to sell to the premium buyer, you also need to have such a process in place. So, you need to vet the client because you're trying to find out if they are the right fit for the problems that you solve. So, if you come off as desperate or needing the deal or the money way more than you value your time and your expertise, then premium buyers will also sense that and they'll walk away. So, you need to position yourself as the prize. If truly you are the best at what you do and you can solve their problems, then what you're doing is to try and find the right fit rather than a misalignment. So you need to have a process in place that vets the client to confirm whether these are the kind of problems that you solve and whether you can bring them the transformation that they seek. Now, the final point we're going to look at is back it up with branding. Now, everything we've talked about can either be amplified or undermined by your branding. So you need to take branding super seriously. Now, when we talk about brand or branding, there's a personal brand and there's a business brand. But it's a sum total of how your business is positioned. So if you do all the other points that we've talked about, if you get them right, but then your branding is not speaking premium, then it's going to undermine your positioning. So with personal brand, we are looking at you, the business owner. How do you come across? How do you communicate? How do you deliver the service? How do you honor your word? All of these things and speak to your personal brand. What are the habits that you you bring to the table? Do you get to meetings on time? And all of these things count as far as your personal branding is concerned. And remember, when we talk about brand, visuals play a big role because research says that about 70% of what our brain is able to retain is visual. So in branding, we can say your visuals take up about 70% of all that branding is. Then same for your business brand as well. So how do your visuals come across from all your touch points, your website, your logo, your presentations, your proposals, as well as how you've positioned the entire business to deliver the results that you say you deliver. So it's really important to back all of these up with premium branding. Remember, the premium buyer wants to feel premium. They want to create memories. They want to invest in experiences. So you also need to position your brand to scream that you are premium. Now, to wrap up, we've answered 3 questions on this idea of selling to the premium buyer. First, we looked at what makes a premium buyer or who is a premium buyer. And then we talked about why it's absolutely important to sell to the premium buyer. And finally, we looked at how we can position ourselves to sell to the premium buyer. If you haven't made this idea your goal in your business, then it's time to do so. Because if you can't sell to the premium buyer, then definitely you can sell to any other buyer. And I would hope that you're looking to become the best at what you do, so that you can sell to the best of the best. So remember all that we've talked about. You need to learn how the premium buyer thinks so that you can position yourself as a premium seller to offer exactly what is valuable to a premium buyer. If you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up and share it with others. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.